Dangerously in Love. Episode 16. The investigation begins, a clue hidden in plain sight. The atmosphere inside the cafe had completely changed. Minutes ago, Advik and Sia had been arguing about flowers. Now they were staring at a pile of secret photographs. Dash. Someone had followed them. For weeks. Maybe longer. Dash. Advik carefully gathered the photos. His expression remained calm. But Sia could see it. The anger behind his eyes. Dash. Advik. He looked up. You don't have to handle this alone. His expression softened slightly. I'm not worried about me. Dash. Sia's heart skipped. Dash. I'm worried about you. Dash. For a moment, neither spoke. The words hung between them. Gentle. Protective. Dangerously sincere. Dash. Back at Raijada Tower, Advik immediately started investigating. Security experts. Private investigators. Digital analysts. Within hours, half his team was working on the mystery. Dash. Rohan walked into the office carrying a report. Anything? Not yet. That's impossible. I know. Dash. That was what worried Advik. Whoever was behind this knew exactly how to avoid detection. Dash. Meanwhile, Sia tried to continue her normal routine. College. Friends. Classes. Life. Dash. Unfortunately, nothing felt normal anymore. Dash. Every time someone looked at her for too long, she wondered if they were watching. Dash. Every time her phone vibrated, she expected another anonymous message. Dash. For the first time in her life, she felt uneasy. Dash. 3 days later, a breakthrough finally arrived. Dash. One of Advik's investigators rushed into his office. We found something. Dash. Advik immediately stood. What? Dash. The investigator placed one photograph on the desk. Dash. A photo taken outside the amusement park. Dash. At first glance, it looked ordinary. Just Advik and Sia walking together. Dash. Then the investigator zoomed in. Dash. Reflected in a shop window behind them was a man. Dash. The same man appeared in multiple photographs. Always in the background. Always nearby. Always watching. Finally, they had a face. Rohan smiled. Got him. But the investigator didn't smile back. What? Advik asked. The investigator swallowed. We identified him. Silence filled the room. Who is he? The investigator handed over a file. Advik opened it. Then froze. For the first time since this started, his expression actually changed. Shock. That's impossible. What is it? Rohan asked. Advik slowly looked up. The photograph showed a man named Vikram Roy, Sia's uncle, a member of the Roy family, someone who had known Sia her entire life. The room fell silent. No. Advik stared at the file. There has to be a mistake. But every piece of evidence pointed to the same conclusion. The mysterious observer wasn't a stranger. He was family. And somehow, that made everything far more dangerous. Hours later, Advik sat alone in his office. One question refused to leave his mind. Why? Why would Sia's own uncle secretly watch her? What did he want? And most importantly, should he tell Sia? Because the answer might break her heart. Dangerously in Love. Episode 17. The Roy Family Secret, A Hidden Past and the Truth About Vikram Roy. Advik stared at the file for a long time. Too long. Because no matter how many times he looked at it, the answer remained the same. Dash. The mysterious observer was Vikram Roy, Sia's uncle. Dash. This doesn't make sense, Rohan said. I know. Dash. Everything about it felt wrong. The photographs, the surveillance, the anonymous messages. None of it matched what Advik knew about the Roy family. Dash. Yet the evidence was undeniable. Dash. Meanwhile, at the Roy mansion, Sia was having a completely different problem. Dash. Her grandfather had summoned the entire family for dinner, which usually meant one thing: trouble. Dash. Why is everyone here? Her cousin shrugged. No idea. That's never a good sign. Dash. A few moments later, Vikram Roy entered the dining room. Dash. Sia immediately smiled. Uncle. Dash. Unlike the rest of the family, Vikram had always treated her like a daughter. He attended her school events, helped with college projects, and never forgot her birthday. Dash. He smiled warmly. How's my favorite troublemaker? Still causing trouble. Excellent. Dash. Watching them together would have made Advik's discovery seem impossible. Dash. Later that night, Advik made a decision. Dash. He needed answers. Dash. The next evening, he arranged a private meeting with Vikram. Dash. The older man arrived exactly on time. Calm, composed, completely unsurprised. Dash. Almost as if he had expected this meeting. Dash. Advik placed the surveillance photographs on the table. Dash. Silence. Dash. Then Vikram sighed. Dash. I was wondering how long it would take you. Dash. Advik froze. Dash. You admit it. Dash. Vikram looked at the photographs. Then nodded. Dash. Yes. Dash. No denial. No excuses. No lies. Dash. Just honesty. Dash. For several moments neither spoke. Dash. Finally Advik asked. Why? Vikram leaned back in his chair. Because I was protecting her. The answer wasn't what Advik expected. What? Sia. His voice softened. She's the closest thing I have to a daughter. The room fell silent. For years I've watched over her. After what happened to my brother. Vikram stopped. Something painful flashed across his face. Something old. Something unresolved. What happened? Advik asked quietly. For the first time. Vikram looked tired. A long time ago, our family made enemies. Power attracts attention. Money attracts attention. And sometimes, people get hurt. Advik listened carefully. Recently I learned someone has been asking questions about Sia. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. What kind of questions? Vikram's expression darkened. The kind that worried me. So I started watching. Following. Investigating. The photographs suddenly made sense. Not obsession. Not manipulation. Protection. But one question remained. The anonymous note. Vikram nodded. That was me. You scared her. I know. And I'd do it again if it kept her safe. For the first time, Advik understood. This wasn't the villain. This was a man terrified of losing someone he loved. A man willing to become the bad guy if it meant protecting family. Then Vikram looked directly at Advik. His gaze sharp. Serious. Protective. You care about her. It wasn't a question. Advik didn't answer. He didn't need to. Vikram already knew. The older man smiled slightly. Good. Advik blinked. Good? If she is going to fall for someone. Vikram stood. It might as well be someone who would burn down the world to protect her. Then he walked away, leaving Advik completely speechless. For the first time, a member of Sia's family had openly acknowledged what neither Advik nor Sia had admitted aloud. And deep down, both already knew it was true. They were in love, neither had said the words. Yet, dangerously in love. Episode 18, The Almost Confession, a moonlit rooftop and 3 words left unsaid. A week passed. A peaceful week. No mysterious messages. No secret photographs. No unexpected disasters. Well, almost no disasters. Sia had accidentally set off a fire alarm during a cooking class. But according to her, that didn't count. It absolutely counts, Advik said over the phone. It was one small fire. Sia. It was tiny. Sia. She laughed. The sound immediately made him smile. As always. Neither noticed how much they depended on those calls now. The daily conversations. The random messages. The constant teasing. It had become normal. And that was the problem. Because feelings were becoming harder to ignore. One evening, Advik received a text. Sia, come outside. He frowned. Advik, outside where? Sia, your office. 5 minutes later, he looked out the window. And nearly laughed. Sia was standing below the tower, holding 2 cups of coffee. And waving dramatically. Impossible woman. An hour later, they stood together on the rooftop of Raijada Tower. The city sparkled beneath them. Millions of lights stretching endlessly into the distance. The night air was cool. Comfortable. Peaceful. For once. Neither was talking. Sia leaned against the railing. It's beautiful. Advik wasn't looking at the city. He was looking at her. Yeah. She turned. Caught him staring. For a second. Neither looked away. And suddenly, the atmosphere changed. No jokes. No teasing. No distractions. Just them. Sia's heartbeat quickened. Because there was something in his eyes. Something she'd never seen before. Something impossible to misunderstand. Advik. His name sounded different when she said it. Softer. Warmer. Dangerous. Dash. He took a step closer. Dash. So did she. The distance between them disappeared. And for the first time, neither was afraid of what was happening. Months of friendship. Months of laughter. Months of growing feelings. All leading to this moment. Sia. His voice was barely above a whisper. She looked up at him. Waiting. And then. Ring. Both jumped. Sia's phone. The worst possible timing in human history. She stared at the screen. Nana. Advik closed his eyes. Slowly. Painfully. Nana is no longer my favorite person. Sia burst out laughing. The magical moment shattered instantly. Answer it. I don't want to. She'll keep calling. Unfortunately. He was right. The phone rang again. And again. And again. Finally Sia answered. What? Nana's excited scream echoed through the speaker. Sia. Turn on the news. Sia frowned. What happened? Just turn it on. Confused, she opened a news app. A breaking headline appeared. Roy Foundation announces new youth leadership program. A normal headline. Until she saw the photograph attached. Her smile disappeared. Because standing beside her grandfather during the announcement was a young man she'd never seen before. A man introduced as Arav Malhotra, the newest business partner of the Roy Foundation. And according to the article, someone expected to work very closely with Sia Roy. Interesting, Advik said quietly. Neither knew why. But suddenly, neither liked this announcement. At all. Somewhere across the city, Arav Malhotra looked at a photograph of Sia Roy and smiled. Because he had every intention of meeting her. Very soon. Dangerously in love. Episode 19. The new arrival, Arav Malhotra and an unexpected feeling. The next morning, Sia was still thinking about the news article. Not because she cared about business announcements. She didn't. But because everyone else seemed to care. Dash. Especially her family. Dash. He is brilliant. Very talented. Extremely successful. Dash. At breakfast, her mother, father, and grandfather wouldn't stop talking about Arav Malhotra. Dash. Sia finally put down her spoon. Is he curing diseases? No. Ending world hunger? No. Then why is everyone acting like he's a superhero? Dash. Her grandfather laughed. Because he's impressive. Dash. Sia groaned. Dash. Across the city, Advik was having a surprisingly similar morning. Dash. Rohan was reading the same article. Again. Dash. So. No. So. Rohan. You seem irritated. I'm not. Dash. Rohan smiled. Dangerously. Dash. You know, most people don't look annoyed when reading about strangers. Dash. Advik folded the newspaper. Dash. I don't care. Dash. Sure. Dash. You think I'm jealous? Dash. Very. Dash. I met him once. Dash. Was. Dash. What does that mean? Dash. It means you're definitely jealous. Dash. Advik threw a pen at him. Dash. Later that afternoon, the Roy Foundation hosted a formal welcome event for Arav. Dash. Sia attended only because her grandfather insisted. Dash. And because refusing had become impossible. Dash. The ballroom buzzed with conversation. Business leaders filled the room. Cameras flashed. Reporters waited. Dash. Then the doors opened. Dash. Arav Malhotra entered. Dash. Tall. Confident. Well-dressed. And unfortunately, very charming. Dash. The crowd immediately welcomed him. Dash. Sia sighed. Dash. Oh, great. Dash. What? Her cousin smiled. Dash. He's handsome. Dash. Everyone keeps saying that. Dash. Because it's true. Dash. Very unhelpful. Dash. Before she could escape, Arav approached. Dash. Miss Roy. Sia smiled politely. Mr. Malhotra. I've heard a lot about you. That's concerning. Arav laughed. For the next few minutes, they talked. He was friendly, smart, funny, and completely unaware that someone else was entering the ballroom. Someone who instantly noticed them together. Advik Raijada. His expression remained calm. Too calm. The dangerous kind of calm. Rohan looked from Arav to Sia. Then to Advik. Oh no. What? You're jealous. I'm not. You absolutely are. Meanwhile, Sia spotted Advik across the room. Immediately, she smiled. A genuine smile. The kind she only gave a few people. Advik's mood improved instantly. Then Arav said something. Sia laughed. And his mood worsened again. Rohan nearly collapsed trying not to laugh. You have it bad. Be quiet. Just tell her. Advik didn't answer. Because for the first time, he was seriously considering it. That evening, after the event ended, Advik and Sia found themselves walking outside together. The city lights glowed around them. Neither mentioned Arav. At first. Then Sia spoke. You're unusually quiet. I'm thinking. Dangerous. He laughed. Then looked at her. Really looked at her. And suddenly, he knew. He couldn't keep pretending. Couldn't keep delaying. Couldn't keep waiting. Because every day without telling her felt harder than the last. Sia. His heart pounded. Something it never did. I need to tell you something. She stopped walking. So did he. The world seemed to disappear. Just like it had on the rooftop. Just like it always did when they were alone. And this time, nothing interrupted them. No phone calls. No disasters. No distractions. Only the truth. Dangerously in love. Episode 20, The Confession, 3 words, 1 racing heart, and a love story that finally begins. The night felt unusually quiet. The city lights shimmered around them. Cars passed by. People walked past. Yet somehow, it felt like the entire world had disappeared. Dash. Only Advik and Sia remained. Dash. I need to tell you something. Dash. Sia's heart immediately sped up. Dash. Because she knew. Dash. Maybe not the exact words. But she knew. Dash. The way he looked at her. The way his voice changed when he said her name. The way her own heart reacted whenever he was near. Dash. She knew. Dash. And somehow, that made her nervous. Dash. For the first time ever. Dash. Advik took a slow breath. Dash. For a man who negotiated billion-dollar deals without blinking. This was terrifying. Dash. Because none of those deals had the power to break his heart. Dash. Sia did. Dash. Do you remember the gala? Dash. She smiled softly. Dash. The drink spill? Dash. The very expensive drink spill. Dash. The suit survived. Dash. Barely. Dash. Both laughed. The tension eased slightly. Dash. Then Advik became serious again. Dash. Everything changed that night. Dash. Sia's smile faded. Dash. Not from sadness. Dash. From anticipation. Dash. I didn't realize it immediately. Dash. His eyes never left hers. Dash. But every day after that. Dash. I looked for your messages. Dash. I looked forward to seeing you. Dash. I found myself smiling for no reason. Dash. Sia's heartbeat became impossible to ignore. Dash. Because every single thing he described, she felt too. Dash. I tried to ignore it. Dash. Advik laughed softly. Dash. Didn't work. Dash. It never does, Sia whispered. Dash. Their eyes met. Dash. Neither looked away. Dash. Neither could. Dash. Then finally, the words escaped. Dash. Sia Roy. Dash. His voice was warm. Certain. Honest. Dash. I love you. Dash. The world stopped. Dash. No sound. No movement. No thoughts. Just 3 words. 3 perfect words. For a second, Sia simply stared at him. Because she had imagined this moment. Dreamed about it. Wondered how it would feel. And somehow, reality was better. Much better. A tear escaped before she could stop it. Advik immediately panicked. Oh no. Sia laughed through the tears. You idiot. His panic increased. Why are you crying? Because you took forever. What? Months, Advik. That's fair. Months? I know. She shook her head. Laughing. Crying. Smiling. All at once. Then she stepped closer. Close enough to hear his heartbeat. Close enough to see the nervousness he was trying to hide. And suddenly, it was her turn. I love you too. The words came easily. Naturally. Like they had been waiting forever to be spoken. Because they had. Advik stared at her. You do? Sia rolled her eyes. No, I rejected you for fun. He laughed. A real laugh. The kind she loved. Then, for the first time, he gently took her hand. No hesitation. No uncertainty. No pretending. Just honesty. Just love. Just them. Above them, the city continued moving. But neither noticed. Because after months of almost confessions, missed opportunities, interruptions, and chaos, they had finally found their way to each other. And for the first time, neither wanted to let go. Far away, standing beside his car, Rohan watched from a distance. His phone rang. It was Advik's grandmother. Well, Rohan smiled. He finally did it. The woman cheered loudly enough for him to pull the phone away from his ear. Meanwhile, across the street, Arav Malhotra saw the couple together. He smiled. Genuinely. Because some stories weren't meant to be interrupted. Some stories were meant to happen. And this one had only just begun.
Thanks for listening. Stay updated for next part. Please subscribe and comment.